watching this live or listening to it live. I am Kat Trulinos with Tada by Kat, Living by Design episode. And I'm going to bring in my host and partner in crime, Jeffrey Wong, in a minute here. I want to wish you a Friday full of love and a 2024 full of love, which is our theme today. And just might be going through the typical Valentine's love season. But really, if anyone remembers the Beatles and loves them as much as we do, all you need is love, right? So I got my love shirt on, I got my love hat on, and I truly, truly, from the bottom of my heart, wish you all so much more love in 2024, if that's possible. And I think it is, because it's infinite, isn't it? The love that we can bring forth when we show up every day, when we show up for our clients, for our family, for our jobs, if we go into a job. If we just remember that, life is so much fuller and so much better. And this topic kind of came about. Jeff and I were conversating on the sofa the other day and talking about just, some new recent for 2024 design clients that kind of started in December and segued into January 2024. And I'm just never short of being amazed and grateful and thankful for the universe connecting me with clients and projects that I can make a difference in their life in some really special, connective ways, going beyond the, analytical. Of course, I can help them prevent making color mistakes, being a color expert. I can save them time, money, and effort in putting together a cohesive space that is going to enhance what they already do have and bring in some power and amazing pieces that speak to who they are. But it really gets close to home and close to my heart when I get to learn from clients some very unique personal circumstances in their life that I can creatively help imbue, say, the remembrance of a loved one that has passed on, through color and memento, which was the case in December. It was very, very, very touching and rewarding to be able to do that, as well as many, many other things, because our spaces are more than ever a sanctuary for us since the whole COVID conundrum. And I believe there's always wonderful and beautiful lessons and innovations and newness that comes out of anything that happens in our life, in our world. And one of the things was that, so many of us now are working from home. Maybe we're working remotely, maybe part-time, going into an office, etc. And we've really learned to embrace our spaces. So couple that with right now, which it won't last, but right now the market, people saying, you know what, I've got my low interest rate in this home. I think I'm going to stay here for a minute. But, we only maybe have a minute. So why not beautify the space that we're in today? Because none of us is promised tomorrow. And so we're finding more and more clients who really want to carve out a beautiful space. I have a recent client that she's been following me since 2019, and life has happened and she just hasn't been able to pull the plug to put the finishing touches on her beautiful home that she purchased. And so we're going to put together a plan sooner than later to make that happen for 2024. And that really pulls on my heartstrings as well, because I always try to ask clients when they call me, how did you hear from us? Was it on House? Was it on Facebook? Was it on the podcast? And have we met? partly, of course, to find out how they're following you and how you know them. And also, if you're spending marketing dollars, marketing time and effort and energy, what's working for you. And I was just, very amazed at this recent client that she's been following me since 2019. So it's never too late. It's never too late. Our little small, independently owned company does some things that maybe other companies do not. And in part, again, we do try to be selective. The first part of our design services is what we call a discovery call. And that's a conversation, whether it's Zoom or on the telephone, to find out, are we a good fit? And can I meet your expectations? Exceed them is what we want to do. And our 112 right now and counting 5-star reviews, I think reflect that on House, that we go the extra mile. If we're not wowing you, that's not success for us. We want to wow our clients. So we're particular and really in tune to the energetic connection of each and every client, because that's what lights me up. And, our theme is love. And if there's one message I'd love to share with you, and that is this year, do what you love. Because you know what? If you do what you love, everything else will fall in place. Don't worry about the hows, the pesky hows, as Mike Dooley calls it. They'll take care of themselves. Just visualize where you want to be. And more importantly, how you want to feel. For me, I want to feel my heart full, that I've made a difference in someone's life, no matter how small or how large. And the details, the synchronicities, the phone calls, the emails, they'll show up. I promise you, they will show up. And I think I've chatted enough here. Again, if we haven't met, I'm Kat Trulinos with Ta-Da by Kat, Living by Design. And my wonderful husband of 25 years, actually a contributor to my first solo book here, Miracles Online, Finding True and Lasting Love in a Digital World. And we just celebrated our 25th wedding anniversary in Greece. So magic does happen when you put it out into the world and let the world take care of the details. Is going to join us right now. Would you like to join us, Jeff? We're waiting. So, there we are.
You hear that? I am here.
Welcome.
Hello, everybody. Good morning.
Let me turn up my volume a little bit here. And for those who have been following us and watching us, we were on reruns most of last year because we were so busy. Well, this time of year, it slows down a little bit. We get to regroup, kind of plan our year, re-strategize, meditate on the perfect connections for clients for 2024. And then, of course, we've launched a book and a publishing company also. So it just made sense to use this platform, of course, for those who already know us, like us, and trust us, hopefully, if not, you will in the future, to platform our publishing company, Yahoo Publishing Company, which Jeff is taking the reins on, and let you guys know what we're doing on that end as well. We'll give maybe you can type it, Jeff, but the website, if someone is interested, if you know someone who is single, divorced, widowed, tried online dating and failed, haven't tried online dating, it's a short, less than 90 pages, easy read. I think right now you can read it for free on Kindle, right, Jeff? So if you have an Amazon Kindle account, if you'd like an autographed copy, shoot me a DM. I'll send you an autographed copy. We will be doing some more book signings. We had our first a couple of weeks ago, actually before Christmas, and we'll be doing a couple probably through February at some local bookstores and so forth. Yeah. So, and again, just so folks know, this podcast is being streamed on about how many sites there?
8. StreamYard currently only allows 8, but they may consider changing it.
Oh, wow.
So we're rotating 8 on social media to get the video live stream to feed into the internet.
Wonderful.
To let everybody
and then,
see it.
And then it goes on our YouTube. Jeff puts it on our YouTube channel. So it's there. You don't have to be, watching it live, as well as all you audio podcasters, listeners. You can listen to it audio on Apple, all the podcast platforms, right?
Yes, definitely Spotify, Apple, the major
Spotify,
podcasts.
Apple. Okay.
Yeah, just type in Cat's Home Chat. You'll see it populate different seasons. We're going to get ready to convert this season because it's audio, right? It's good to listen to while you're just kind of, doing gardening, cooking. Yeah. So it's a really good opportunity to kind of catch up and see what we're talking about this year. Of course, Cat is taking a different approach in regards to go deeper, right? In regards to...
Let me talk about that just a little bit, Jeff, and then I'll give you back the floor. So Cat's Home Chat started out all things real estate. This is our 94th episode. You want to tune into our 100th because it's going to be a big celebration, but it's our 94th episode. Can't believe it. And a shout out, preliminarily to all the folks who have been our guests in the past. And it started off all things real estate, okay? And then we broadened it to all things home because I really wanted to include really anyone working from home, which again, after COVID conundrum, a lot of people were working from home. And I wanted them to have a platform to share whatever they were sharing with the world. And as I have grown further in my interests, they've always been there, but I really wanted to integrate really all things home, and everything happens at home. We live, we love, we make goals, we strategize, we have relationships. Everything really is from home. And this is why, too, if you might have noticed, it used to be Tadaba Cat Next Level Staging and Design. We still do staging and design, but our tagline now is living by design, because I really, really believe that it is intertwined, that not only our spaces, our interior spaces, we feel so much more at peace and so much more creative and loving if we have certain elements of color, space, and planning. Wow, how about the interior spaces? And I've really kind of delved into that, and I will be going further into another leg of my offerings, of giving back what I love, and that is living by design, not by default. And so stay tuned for that. That's another audience or the same audience, but going to go into a deep dive into creating our optimal, joyful, colorful, beautiful, peaceful interior spaces. And with that, Jeffrey.
Well, one of the things that as a producer for this podcast, we wanted to do topics that I thought was definitely more in depth in thought as well as heart. What I mean by that is that the projects that I've seen Cat work on and take on is not always monetarily driven like most businesses. So I would like for you to kind of share your process of getting to know your client and how you bring this knowledge of frequency and positive energy and feng shui placements and those type of things to their home to optimize their lifestyle in their lives at home.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I know you were taking care of the tech side when I did my intro. I touched on it a little bit, Jeff, in terms of the process, the discovery call, and then making that connection. Anyone who's interested shoot me a DM. I have about a minute and a half video business card on design. I have one on staging too, but on design, and it goes through, the elements. If you want to know, well, what is it? I've never hired a designer, but the thing that probably isn't in that video business card, because I only had a very short time, is through that discovery call and through the whole process, it's really a matter of communicating, excuse me, with my client to have them provide me things that make them light up. Because there's a quote somewhere, and I don't have it exactly right, and I don't know who quoted it, but that every home should reflect who the person is that lives there. And even business, we do a lot of businesses. We last year did a spa, a med spa, and we were honored and grateful to be able to bring to life their new marketing. In fact, a marketing company had contacted me to help them to bring together their new colors and their logo, and we were able to do it in a very unique custom biophilic design in their spa room, as well as their waiting room, that was very unique to them, to their branding, and to their message that they want to give to their clients that come. So that's on the business side. On the residential side, it really is much different than staging. As I tell clients, staging is a marketing tool, and so I'm not really that interested in what the seller or the realtor likes or doesn't like, because as a master trained staging professional, I'm going to make decisions based on the demographic, sociographic, fixed elements in the space, and put together something that will speak to as many potential buyers as possible. So it's very, design and marketing driven. So flip side to design, although of course, again, I'm going to prevent the client from making color mistakes, space mistakes, investment mistakes. Especially, I get a lot of, I might be selling in 2 or 3 years, and having a real estate background, I can inform them on what they should invest their money in and what they shouldn't, that they will get the best ROI or return on investment. But on the personal level, it's, tell me about what lights you up. Show me what's personal in your home. Let's integrate that uniqueness, because when someone walks in your space, especially you should light up. But how do you want others who come into your home and yourself to feel? So it's all about feeling. And most people, even clients who really resonate with the contemporary clean line. In fact, I have a potential client right now who that's what they have, but they're clueless on how to, what I call, bring the jewelry of the home. And it's those finite details, the artwork, the placement of the furniture, the decor, the color cohesiveness, all of that just makes it wrap its arms around you and give you a big hug when you walk in. So those are awesome because the bones are there, but many people, as I mentioned on the onset, are stuck with a bunch of receipts or a bunch of things that people gave them that maybe they love or don't love, and they don't really know how to put them all together. And more importantly, how to have the home speak of them, their personalization, to personalize who they are in the space.
That's right. And tell us a little bit about when you get to know your client, and how do you go about getting your crew into the shop and do custom decor wall arts for the living space for your client? Can you touch on that for a little bit?
Absolutely. So some may know that we opened up Cat's Eye and Decor, and the majority of it right now is custom biophilic design. Whether it's, I'm doing a custom bowl right now. My client has a 72-inch round table. We're making a 23-inch bowl of custom bun moss. Okay. And this client has some very particular likes and dislikes. So, it comes down to I've, sourced 10 different colors and types of moss, and having the client resonate with what color, size, feel, etc. feels good to them. Okay. So, I touched a little bit on the spa that we did. And of course, it is so unique. The designs that we do are so unique and so custom that what I generally do with design clients who are looking for something different is I'll show them, past, some of them we've already sold, but we can recreate really anything. They're all one of a kind pieces. But something that we do different that we're proud of is that we create in our little studio each piece while listening to high frequency 432 hertz frequency that infuses the love, light, and energy into each piece. And if you believe that all things are energy, which I don't know how you can refute that, whether it's a living person and or an inanimate object, then you'll realize the power of that frequency. So there's also been many studies, and we include this in our literature to our clients, that have shown that having greenery, whether real, preserved, or not, lowers your heart rate, brings a sense of peace. So I think one of the things, Jeff, that really spawned my excitement about going in this direction to create custom wall art, and we do others, we do feathers and fabric and others, but on the greenery side, one of the things that I find time and time again, whether it's staging or design, is that there's no greenery. In part, I think because most people are probably like me and don't have a green thumb, and that's okay with what we do because you don't have to. It's preserved greenery. You have the beauty and the effect of the wall art without having to have a green thumb. So there's zero maintenance. I suggest, maybe every 3 months, if you use a lot of AC and so forth, like we do in Texas, to give it a mist to keep it fluffy. We don't, keep anything in climate controlled, which is why we have a little studio, because it wouldn't last in our unclimate controlled warehouse for staging. But yeah, there's zero maintenance, and clients just really resonate with the beauty, the uniqueness, the variety, and the calmness and peace that it brings to their space. So yeah, we really enjoy the custom wall art, as well as we do tablescapes. Like I said, I'm working on actually 2 right now, very large bowls that are going to be like a custom tablescape. And then we're doing another one that's probably 3 feet long for a narrow table that we'll be finishing that soon.
I am very proud of how the company has come along and actually grow into something that is more directive toward the lifestyle in the heart, the home, the positive energy. I don't think when I got into the real estate business and you got into the real estate business that this was emphasized by, the people we worked with. But it is, to me, one of the key factors in having a quality home life. So tell us a little bit about when you talk to people who is your prospect, who becomes your client. Are most people not familiar with the, I don't know what to do in my home, and how do you steer them into the direction that will help them to get that serene, that peacefulness, or that living space to have the great flow? How do you take someone who's so not in tune with home life. And these, because most people buy a house, they just think they're buying a house. They have no idea to where a lot of the other stuff in regards to flow placements and lighting and what all the things that encapsulates the quality of life. So can you touch on that a little bit of how you educate your prospect and your client?
Absolutely. That's a really good lead question, Jeff. So, thank God that so many people, a client, like I said, that I talked to just the other day was like, I'm not good at this. I don't, I have no clue. And I'm like, well, thank God, because I'd be out of business if you did. So, but never fear, let me help you. So we start off with, I talked about the discovery call. So very rare, but, most of the time it's, I can definitely help them. There might be some oddity and we may not be a good fit, but we, determine if we're a good fit. And that could go both ways. I think this was last year, husband and wife decided to go with someone who was more entrenched in design and could do CAD, CAM, and so forth. I don't do CAD. I do 3D and mock-ups and, and so on and so forth. But that wasn't my forte. So that's okay. We weren't a good fit. So we find out if we're a good fit. 9 times out of 10, we are. The next step is an on-site consultation. Now, prior to that, I send them a questionnaire. And I've spent years developing my processes for staging and design. And this questionnaire is perfect at helping me maximize our time together for an on-site consultation. And so these are 2 key factors that are going to help me to put all the pieces together, because it can be overwhelming, as you've mentioned, to a lot of folks who go, gosh, where do I start? I don't even know where to start or what to do. So rather than have someone tell me, oh, well, I like farmhouse chic, or I like modern minimalistic, or, what have you, that could mean something different to them than it does to me. So part of my questionnaire is having them circle different table legs. Key importance is circling the words in how they want to feel, because again, I can't stress enough, it's a feeling. It's not, well, I want a table here and no, you tell me how you want to feel. And then I always suggest if they can send me some inspiration pictures from either off my house or Pinterest, I tell them, don't think long and hard, just send me, 6 or 7 living rooms that you like. And then it's my job to kind of put the dots together to go, okay, I see a pattern. It looks like she likes, black accents with this kind of feel. So rather than try to label it, because I just hate labels, I don't think it's a one size fits all for anyone. And most people want to live in more kind of an eclectic. And even if they're in a modern minimalistic, probably the biggest hole they have is, again, putting together that warmth, putting together art with the right color, the right anchor rug, the right greenery. And that's where oftentimes the custom biophilic comes into play. So with that form, prior to an on-site consultation, I have a lot of information prior to us meeting that I'm going to have a good idea of what they like and how I can help them and what are the power words that they want for, sometimes it's each of the rooms, sometimes it's the entire room, or starting with the entry. From there, basically, client can pick my brain. I don't have any limit. Usually it takes less than 2 hours, hour and a half, 2 hours. I think the longest I've taken is 2.5 hours, because I've been doing this enough that I can make quick decisions, and I know the right questions to ask. So I will then come up with a needs list. I'll be making recommendations on site for the do-it-yourselfer. So after the consultation, I tell clients they can work with me as little or as much as they choose, they want, they have a budget for, and a time frame for. We'll create a timeline, we'll create a needs list and a priority. So if client wants to start, say, well, I just want to start off with this huge entry, and then we'll go into the living room. Then that's fine. I can customize a package for any client because, again, there's no one size fits all. Every client is different, has different needs, different wants, etc. But so on site, though, that's when we come up with the critical thing, and that is the plan. So I then follow up with what I call a scope of work and defining what I called out in the meeting, what I suggest to leave, what I suggest to add, what I suggest to move from one room to another. We will come up with a color palette, which is oh so important. If you've gone into model homes, which everyone usually has, you'll see there's a cohesiveness. And part of that, not limited to only that, but part of that is that there's a color cohesiveness throughout the space. And there's rules that you can break on that in terms of sight line, etc. But for the most part, I like to bring the paint store and help the client pick out their happy colors. And with that, we will determine that from what I call fixed elements. And from that, it's if the counters are going to stay, that's a fixed element, and it has warm tones, only warm tones in it. We have to take that into consideration before changing into a cool color palette. Flooring is probably the biggest thing. Is the flooring is staying, and it's a particular color palette or color hue more important than the color. We have to take that into consideration. If not, you'll have what I have seen so many investor flippers do back in the gray is everywhere days. They would just go, yep, gray is it. And they would do agreeable gray everywhere. And you would look and go, what were they thinking? Because it just it competed or was in competition with the other fixed elements and did not go whatsoever. So that's really important, to stay and create the right, so you don't have any wanted pesky undertones that you weren't planning on. So from there, Jeff, within about 24 to 48 hours, I provide a scope of work. And by that time, we've already determined how do they want to work. They could very rarely, but they could say, hey, you know what, you've given me so much information, I can take it and run now. I know what, because I give a lot of information. And so, great, I got it now. I know the game plan. I've got my colors. I know what to get rid of, what size rug to get, etc. And that's fine. Then we part ways after the consultation. Another flavor of that would be, you know what, I've got it, but I kind of want a consultation, not a consultation, but I want to be able to run things by you for the next 30 days or 60 days. So I have a flat fee for that. Phone calls, emails, you've got it. You send me 3 or 4. What do you think would work best based on our plan and the consultation? And so that's probably the next level. I just need to run it by you so that I'm confident I didn't make a color mistake or a size mistake, etc. And then from there, I have what's called a decorator by your side. That's where it's a little more in depth. There's quite a few furniture, decor, etc., to be purchased. And the client sends me 3 options. I let them know what the best one is. The last option is, can you just take care of it? And that's where, I do everything for them. I shop and I send them 3 options of what would be the best based on our design element. And then the last flavor of that, and this is where I really customize it, but is everything's been purchased, whether it's been purchased from them or from me or a hybrid of both, because I'm working with a client right now, we're doing a hybrid. And they want me and the team or me and an assistant to come in and what I call stage it to dwell. So that's where everything's been delivered, it's there, but they want us to come in, put the furniture in the right position, for space planning, hang the artwork at the correct height and in the correct place, and place all of the decor in the optimal places. So that's kind of the different levels of our services.
That's fantastic how you broke that down. Thank you so much.
So
that way people can kind of get a true understanding how design actually is so much more involved. Well, let me shift over here to the news of the days and the itemized items before we sign off today. I want to say hello to all our staging brothers and sisters around the world. The International Association of Home Staging Professionals are having their conference in Las Vegas this month. And unfortunately, we're not going to be attending this year because we have other things on the agenda that we had to get over and take care of first. But I also know our realtor, real estate broker, and that family are also attending now. If you have not seen these conferences in person, you need to go check them out. They will do not only your business wonders, but they will help you to open a whole fresh bucket of ideas. Am I right or am I right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And hats off to Jenny. Jenny, if you're watching this, yeah, she does so much for the industry and, continues to do so throughout the U.S. and internationally as well. So we are very grateful for all.
Yeah, and especially Jenny is such a forerunner. We're so just proud of how she's grown. I think the industry since she took over about 4 or 5 years ago.
And so if you're interested in that, it's iahsp.com. Actually, that's not. I think there's a URL for the conference. Just Google the IHOS conference. IAHSP.
If you're watching us on Facebook, just stay on Facebook. You'll see all kind of stuff if you just type in staging professionals and things like that. Jenny Norris is also she also does a podcast on Fridays as well, but later on in time. So, always wants to support friends and family. So definitely we want to also put a snip in on Pro Staging Hall of Fame, which is Professional Staging Hall of Fame that we as curators started several years ago. Usually we do nominees and inductees at conferences, but this, because of how quickly how the years have been moving, that we don't do this on an annual basis. We do this on a merit basis. So stay tuned on Pro Staging Hall of Fame. You can also Google us that. You can see our URL with the past history and also who's in the Hall of Fame, as well as the biggest thing that we're really working on here in Texas is Yahoo Publishing right here, the book. If you have friends and family or even yourself, hey, you can read it for free on Kindle. So there's no excuse not to read it. Give us a nice review. Let us know how it serves you. I really do believe there's a rich information that's all in this book because I read it thoroughly and I was actually the experience. So with that being said,
and actually Jeff is in the book. You wrote it.
Well, I'm the experience, right?
Yeah.
But I also, on one chapter, I talk about this experience. But the aspect of it to help us support our publishing company, it's the book is $10. I mean, you can go get a Happy Meal in McDonald's with fries and a Big Mac for yourself, and you're spending more than $10. So for less than that, you can help us build even a bigger platform to talk about where your heart is, where the love is. And what we're doing is we're trying to bring everything we do into the world with a kindness, with consideration, and with our hearts. And with that being said, well, President Dante, I'm going to finish my end with this. Is this backwards? No, it's Dad's jokes. So for everybody having the yucks of the day, and I'll let Kat sign off after I leave, is what do you call a pig that does karate chop?
Oink, oink.
Pork chop.
Pork chop. And okay, where's the drum? Hold on.
And everybody have a great week. We're going off. And that's my applause.
That's Dad's joke. That's Dad's joke. You can pick that up at Amazon. That was a stocking stuffer for him. So thank you so much for those watching, listening, watching on the flip side. And our new sign off for all of 2024 is love more, give more, and be more in 2024. Namaste, and go make it a great day. Have a super weekend, everybody.